Has been restored to the streets of a Dijon suburb after 4 days of unrest. On Friday, a large group of Chechens began clashing with the North African community after a teenager was beaten up. Some reports suggest members of the Chechen community travelled across France, Belgium and Germany to reach Dijon. Oliver Whitfield-Miocic reports.
After 4 days of anger, a sense of calm. Residents in Grésil say they felt threatened after seeing dozens of armed men in their neighbourhood.
I was shocked because they came to attack everybody and called on Arabs to come out. Me and my children were scared and stayed home.
The trouble began on Friday after a Chechen teenager was beaten up. Over the next 3 nights, the Chechen diaspora from France and abroad came to the suburb to avenge his injuries. Cars were burnt, shots were fired, and according to locals, the police didn't properly intervene.
The police let them beat people. They were outside the neighbourhood, looking on from afar.
France's junior interior minister toured the area on Monday to reassure residents and to bolster the police response.
From this evening in Dijon, there'll be 2 mobile force units will be present on the ground, which means nearly 150 civil servants or military members of the gendarmerie.
But for some of those living in the usually peaceful suburb, that announcement was too little too late. Damage had already been caused, both to property and to trust in the authorities.
Local residents here in Grésil say they're not only angry with the police who didn't turn up for 3 days, which they say exposed them to harm. They're also angry at a media narrative, which they say is being framed around this town having a big problem with drugs.
Des drogues, il y en a partout dans le monde, dans tous les quartiers de France, dans toutes les villes dans le monde. De la drogue, on la trouve partout.
Marine Le Pen, the leader of France's far-right National Rally Party, also paid a visit on Monday, blaming lax immigration policies for the unrest.
This is a situation of unprecedented gravity. It goes beyond a news story and should be seen as a warning to our nation.
The Interior Ministry says it is looking into whether it can deport any foreign nationals involved in the unrest. Locals say that while the elderly generation emigrated from the Maghreb, they're descendants of French nationals and everyone just needs to get along.
Well, Oliver is on the scene still now in Grésil, and we can go there to speak to him. Ollie, morning to you. The clean-up operation really is underway now, isn't it? So talk us through what's happened over the last 24 hours or so.
Good morning, Rosie. Yes, that's right. Construction crews are now busy at work trying to clear the charred remains of a vehicle as well as rubbish bins which were set alight during those 4 days of unrest here in Brazil because the fires actually damaged the road surface. Now, it does seem that the police have restored law and order on the streets here after officers were rushed into the area by the junior interior minister. Locals here are telling us they believe that the Chechen diaspora who had travelled not only from other parts of France but from neighbouring countries have now left, so they feel that there is less risk of violence flaring up once again. And on that visit by the far-right leader Marine Le Pen, locals here, some of them at least, as well as critics of her party, believe that was all just part of an election campaign stunt. Because in less than 2 weeks' time, France will go to the polls for the local election, and the National Rally Party has a candidate standing for the Dijon mayor's seat. So, coming here to talk about the problems with immigration, we would know that her party is an anti-immigrant party, was an easy score for her.
Ollie, thank you very much.